Recording in progress. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. This is Sports Forensics and Picks with me, Matt, and my buddy here, John, the forensics expert. And we're going to be
Ah,
looking NFL Week 6 today. We're going to go through all the games and give you our takes on those. And we're starting off in London, the Jaguars and the Bears. The Bears are technically the home team in this one. The Bears -1. I'm on the Bears, even though Jacksonville is London's team. What do you think, John?
yeah. Well, they do play there every year, to your point, but yeah, they're certainly not London's team, but they're trying to make them that way. I
Yeah.
mean, they're getting familiar with them. In fact, last week was the first game that Jacksonville won. It was Trevor Lawrence's birthday, and the family, they all went to London. So I think this is going to be more of a showcase of Jacksonville, like you say. They are kind of their team, but I think that they're a lot better than they've shown. The last couple of weeks have kind of gone with them, at least against the spread. They've covered on both. So I think they're starting to kind of come into something. I think Tank Bigsby is a stud, and I think that ETN's not long for his job at all. He might even be replaced,
Yeah, plus
this
he's
week at
banged
some
up.
point.
ETN's banged up. I love Tank. That's great. I think Trevor Lawrence, though, is, I mean, this is the number one pick that really is struggled, frankly. And last week I got my toes cut off, -3.5. The Colts come back and lose by 3. So at this point for the Jags, I'm kind of done with them. I think they're a sinking ship. And I think the Bears have something to play for this week, where in London, it might have just been a party for the Jaguars this week. So that's my take.
Wow, dude, that's awesome. Yeah, but no, and this is all me going with. I'm taking the Jags, but Chicago's getting better every week, and I'm just hoping maybe it's not this week.
Yeah, right. Heard. Washington, the Commanders, formerly the No Names, formerly the Redskins. They are +6.5 on the road at Baltimore. Baltimore, incredible comeback win a week ago in Cincinnati, whereas the Skins beat up on a bad Cleveland Brown team. I'm on Washington with the 6.5 points there to cover.
That's totally sound. I love that pick. Daniels has done real great, but most importantly, I do not like the better team at home when they're not favored by at least 7. Period. End of
Mhm.
story. So give me those points.
Love it. Arizona at Green Bay. Zona is +5.5 going to Wisconsin. The Packers -5.5 at home. I'm on Zona in this one. I think Zona is a competitive football team as much as I do like Green Bay and the Packers. I think that's too many points at home. I could see Arizona even winning this game outright. But Jordan Love is back and looking good. So, but I'll take the points in this
Yeah, I can't blame you there, especially the way they Arizona beat Frisco, and they Murray had a 50-yard scamper score as a quarterback.
one.
That's some pretty real stuff. Their defense is really decent. I like that team, but Green Bay is so solid and so good across the board. And I mean, really, maybe the running back spots their weakness. I don't know, but they're so good all over the field that I have to go with them. I think that they're going to suffocate that Arizona team. They're just gonna leave them for dead in the third quarter.
Yeah, that defense is solid, and it absolutely could happen. I'm just hoping for a close football game there by 3 or 4 points either way. The Houston Texans on the road against New England Patriots. The Texans are a 6.5 point favorite on the road in New England. New England's been not very good. Frankly, I just think that the Patriots are unable to score points, and I don't see them scoring more than 14 or so in this game. And I think Houston's going to get into the mid 20s, even against that defense. It's okay, but when you can't move the ball, you never have the football. So that's my take on why Houston could score points even with Nico Collins out.
Well, you just said it. Nico Collins is out. So when you lose your number one, there's probably going to be, especially with the amount of people they had, that were in limited participation or whatnot during the week. I know Tank Dell is going to probably step up, but he hasn't looked good, and so it's hard to
Yeah.
replace a true number one in Nico Collins. So I think they're going to scramble and kind of have problems with rhythm offensively. And they're on the road. They're playing the Patriots. The Patriots have an above average defense. And so that could be a lot of points. And the reality is Joe Better is
Of
all over Houston this
course.
week. They're all saying, "Oh yeah, they'll win by a touchdown." Boom,
Mhm.
that means they cover. So it's not it's not like a linear home field advantage play that you can apply here. It's really more just the way that Joe Better feels. They feel because they've seen and they know the Patriots aren't a good team.
Mhm.
Okay, Houston is a good team. They just beat the Bills last week, and they're 4-1. I believe are the Patriots 1-4.
Yeah, I think they're both or 1-4 and 4-1 respectively.
Okay, I really have a thing like a numerological bend with teams where one's like 10-1 and the other's 1-10. You know, these are when upsets happen. So do not be shocked at all if the Patriots win this game at home. I'll probably I would support that, but make sure that you're putting most of your play on the points. I don't think Houston's going to cover this because I think far too many people think they will easily, and that's
Mhm.
going to attract money everywhere. It's going to be in every parlay. It's going to be straight up, upside down, you name it. So that money scares me just because my money wouldn't be alone, and they ain't giving it away.
For sure. I mean, they don't give it away in Vegas. Tampa Bay on the road in New Orleans. Tampa Bay is a 3.5 point favorite on the road. We talked about this game together, and we love Tampa Bay in this game.
We were clothed
Como?
fully.
We were closed during the discussion.
Yes.
Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield, let's go. He's been great. And Tampa Bay, even though they don't necessarily have, as incredible a defense as we thought they may have, I think Baker's just still been fantastic. And New Orleans, they have just been let down city one week after another, and now no Derek Carr this week. So to me, it seems like it's a good place to put your money on. Tampa Bay -3.5. It's one of my picks of the week.
Yeah, I'm sure neither of us know the name of the quarterback. I knew it and then forgot it as soon as I read it the second or third time. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't see New Orleans doing much. And the fact that they're laying 3.5 at home, I mean, New Orleans still kind of a darling, I guess. Just the manhandling of Dallas and whatnot. I
Mhm.
mean, so people are watching them, and so when they're at home and they're laying 3.5, it's just not a good week to take them. So I'm all over Tampa Bay, and yeah, I agree. I think Tampa has a quarterback in Mayfield, possibly the biggest gamer in the sport. He's not the best athlete, and you can see that by his speed, and he's always getting taken down. But the guy reacts better than most any other quarterback in the game, and he's not afraid to take a shot. The dude wants to
Yeah.
win, so he's a baller. I gain respect for him every week, and so yeah, I think Tampa's going to have a great week.
Yeah, couldn't said it better. I mean, he's fantastic. Cleveland at the Philadelphia Eagles. Cleveland Brownies plus 8.5 on the road in Philly. Philly coming off a bye. I like the Browns in this one. With those points, I think they've been pretty bad. And actually, Cleveland freaking sucks, dude. Cleveland's terrible.
They
If you,
do.
they have a
They
defense
they
that's like,
are, but here's the thing. Right when you said I love Cleveland, I'm like, dude, me too. And the reason why is this opened up as 9.5. I don't think it's a secret that you got AJ coming back for Philly. I know they're going to try to force feed him a touchdown early so he doesn't cry. He's one of those diva types, but realistically, they talent wise, they're probably much stronger than the Browns, but I think it's the fact that it started at 9.5 and went down to 8.5. That just tells me that the points are really strong. I don't think Joe Better has a current going with it that's putting so much money on the Browns that it would affect the line by a full point. Quite the opposite. I think. I think AJ coming back and the fact that it opened it up at 9, I thought that was a real strong line for Philadelphia. But again, 9.5 points, 6.5 points. These are not lines I like the favorites at. 10.5. Yeah, that's better. Okay,
so
you got to
seven and a
make
half,
it
ten
to
and a half.
create, yeah, more of a perception that's going to create a flow of money, additional monies going the other way.
Right.
So it started at 9.5, but then when it went down to 8.5, that tells me those points are really good. But I would not take the upset.
Mhm.
I don't see that happening. It could. It happens in the NFL all the time.
Mhm.
But the play here is the points, and just
Yeah.
don't chase good money with bad or
Yeah,
bad
but
with
here's
good.
the thing: the Cleveland Browns, the defense was supposed to be the best in the NFL, essentially, and they're frankly not. They're mediocre at best. They can't run the football. They have two receivers in Judy and Cooper that if they can get the football or get open, they're fine. But Deshaun Watson's terrible. Is he playing quarterback this week still? It's like it's just the Browns have been so frustrating, and it's like, I mean, last week they lost by 20 points, 21 points or something. And that's
They're bad. There's
yeah,
no question, but I think they're so bad because their offense can't stay on the field, and so their defense can't get off the field, and they're
yeah,
just punch drunk by the end of the game. And I don't think Rub and Tug is the kind of guy you think your money's safe on when he's working from a deficit. It's really really bad. But this just might be one of those weeks. You don't know, but the points are safe, I think.
So you like the Browns with plus 8.5?
Yeah, I trust the money on this one. I
All
just
right.
don't think enough people really feel the points are that strong. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, that's simple.
I'll stick with the Browns as well, then plus that 8.5. Indianapolis Colts at the Tennessee Titans. I think I know where you're going on this game, and I think I'm going the opposite direction. The Colts are plus 2.5 on the road. I like the Colts in this one. I every time I take Tennessee, they've done me dirty, and I can't pull the trigger on them this week at home.
Well, you're right. Me too this year, but I'm going to take them anyway. I think that I think if Will Levis is going to be their quote unquote quarterback of the future, and I really think that he probably will be. I think their problem is more with scheme and coaching, but I think that they're going to put it together. It is a great week too because they're going against a team with a horrible defense, and so and the Titans actually do have a decent defense. You just can't tell because they can't score, and so you kind of look past the defense because you
Mhm.
can't help but focus on the stink trail that's the offense. But
Right.
I think that you got two healthy receivers, so I maybe we'll probably see a real first effort. From this twin. I mean, geez, they still got good grief. Why am I coming up with at a loss for the Arizona guy? Good grief, I
Oh,
can't.
Hopkins.
Oh my gosh, D Hop. I can't think of it.
Hopkins.
And then and then the other guy from Atlanta. What's his
Ridley.
again? Because
Yeah.
this coffee is not working. Anyway, they've got good receivers in theory, and so if they're going to
Mhm.
spread it out and extend the field a little bit, then they got a chance because they should be able to because there's no secondary on the other side. The
Right.
point is they don't have a scheme that does that. They tried all their passes are before the marker, and so they
Yeah.
just don't have a scheme conducive to moving the ball and scoring points. And so I
Yeah.
hope they hear this because we all see it.
It's a
Anyway,
team that, I mean,
I'm
if they
going to
could.
take them anyway.
Okay.
I think this is going to be a big day for Levis, and I've done horrible. I've got nothing but egg on my face from that team, but you know I'm kind of punch drunk from all those shots. So it's about time they show up, and let's do it this week.
I think a product of that is their inability to really run the football. I mean, Pollard and Spears. Spears has been pretty much non-existent. Pollard, I mean, he's gone from Dallas. I mean, they don't have anybody in Dallas, which is telling of how he was in Dallas. He never scored touchdowns in Dallas. He's got some speed, but this team would be far better off if they were running the football and doing some play action. But they're not even set up to do that. So either way, yeah, Indy's secondary is bad. Their defense is not that good, but um, whether you get served with Flacco or Richardson this week, I'm ready for a Colt win.
Yeah, and one final note on this game is remember last year we're talking about no running game from Tennessee. Who
Mhm.
was the running back they had last year? Oh, Henry.
Yeah.
Where's he at? What's he doing these days? Oh, geez, in Baltimore, just looking all world, almost
Mhm.
even looking like he belongs in an MVP conversation. But look at it. Look at the quarterback on the same team. So
Yeah.
don't expect that to happen. But he is playing that well, and so when you have a runner like him in a scheme conducive to power running, like Baltimore,
Mhm.
um, then they're gonna succeed. So it doesn't matter who you put in that backfield until they change something major. They're not they can't put anyone in that role to be successful because if Derrick Henry can't succeed as a running back for the Titans, who can? And
Right.
look at what he's doing now. So all right, yeah, I'm not touching this game. You shouldn't either.
Yeah.
All of
We
you.
didn't even talk about this game, but
Next
the Chargers, your neck of the woods, the LA
game of
Chargers
the week. Who do you got? And this is my game of the week. Who do you got?
I love Denver +3 at home. Love them.
Perfect, Homer. I am loving the Chargers. The Chargers and Herbert. He hasn't done
Why?
a thing all
Yeah,
year, and he's going against this super defense.
mhm.
He's good for at least 3 scores.
He's good for at least 3 picks.
Well, no, that was Philip Rivers. He's not a pick guy.
Yeah.
Rivers is the choker. Sorry,
This Bronco
Charger
D though.
faithful. He's no longer with the team, and you know what? I said it then too.
Hmm.
But yeah, I think that Herbert's going to have a great game, and
Yeah.
so
Okay.
DFS nerd, you hear that?
Yeah, put it in there.
Charger.
Plug and play. And how do you feel about the Charger defense? Do you like the defense or?
Well, to be honest, we haven't seen that much of them, but what we've seen generally has actually been very positive.
Mhm,
I think that the Harbaugh thing, I mean, they really just took a team that had no discipline or even guidance on
mhm.
both sides of the ball, and at least they've been able to kind of pull that in a little bit. And so, yeah, so they always had great talent. Look at the individual names they have on their defense, and so
Yeah.
when you give them a little bit of structure
Mhm.
and throw some ground rules out there for which they can thrive under, then look what they're doing. I mean, they're one of the top 10 defenses.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. Yeah, I mean, they've been good. There's no question there. Pittsburgh at Vegas. Vegas Raiders are a 3-point dog at home. Pittsburgh -3 going out west. I love Pittsburgh in this one. Vegas can't score points, and they can't stop people either. So, I mean, it doesn't matter that Pittsburgh necessarily can't score that many points. I don't know if Vegas scores more than 10 points in this game. So that's why I'm on Pittsburgh.
okay, I think that everyone, and rightly so, would just think, looking at this 3 points, that the Steelers should have no problem with this. I mean, they're moving the ball. They don't even have a quarterback controversy now that both of the quarterbacks are healthy, but they're sticking with Justin Fields because he's been good enough and running the offense well enough to where their stud defense can stop enough, and they win. So most people are going to look at that three and just kind of think, okay, it's a no-brainer. And it is, until you kind of look at the history between these two teams. There's a very deep tradition, let's say, between these two teams. It never mattered how bad the Raiders were; they always beat the Steelers. And so I'm going to go with history on this one, and I'm going to just advise against taking the Steelers. You don't want to have your pick over before the kickoff and not even
Mhm.
know it.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the Raiders. And you know what? And if it's on the up and up and they get crushed by 30, then okay, that kind of stuff happens. But in terms of the frequency and that kind of thing happening in matchups like this, I'm okay going with the numbers and just living to play another day.
Yeah, forensically, it makes sense because, I mean, it seems obvious. A few of these games seem obvious, and you've kind of been, on the other side of that because, Vegas, they don't give it away, like you said. So, there's always that. I mean, this line, if it was more like a 6.5 point or even a 4.5 point favorite for Pittsburgh, would you be more keen to taking Pittsburgh?
But yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
In fact, 4.5 actually sounds pretty good. It's only
Yeah.
1.5, but 1.5, the psyche says field goal. 4.5, it says a touchdown.
Right. Right. Yeah, for
Well, if
sure.
they could win by 2 field goals and that covers, and that's not a touchdown.
Yeah.
Whatever, nerd. And
Oh,
I hear that from people all the time if I'm like wrong on something, and
mhm.
especially, although we're rarely wrong by half point. We're normally on the good side of the half point.
Well,
But when
you've been very
I
lucky
get
with the.
nerded on by something like that, when I do happen to miss, it's like, well, what did Joe do there? They won, didn't they?
Yeah.
Huh? And I was like,
Mhm.
oh gosh, go away.
Yeah, well, you've had in some of our picks this, especially for college football this year, where we play around and do some of those. You've gotten very lucky with like a point and a half or a half a point here. With the underdog, let's say, where I was taking the team to cover, even though it was like 17 and a half or 21 and a half. So you've definitely fallen on the right side of that this year, where I've gotten my toes cut off. But either way, it's been fun. Those are.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's great for the rivalry, the personal rivalry.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
for sure.
who else we
Okay.
got?
All right, we got Atlanta and Carolina. Atlanta on the road -6 in Carolina. And you know me, I mean, Carolina to me got destroyed multiple times. Sam Darnold comes in, they beat up Vegas. We thought Vegas was great because they had beaten Baltimore in week 2, right? Vegas is bad. We know that now, no offense. Carolina is terrible. because now I've taken them 2 weeks in a row to cover. And last week I took your advice, which I never will do again, changing my pick when it comes to taking Carolina. I switched from the Bears to Carolina, and they got destroyed. That's why I'm on Atlanta. Atlanta to cover, to cover that 6 easily here.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, and easily. That's Joe right there. A team that, gosh, didn't last game. Cousins showed up for the first time with his new team and went off for, like, I don't know, some huge, insane amount of quote unquote fantasy numbers or
That was the
fantasy.
Thursday game, right, against Tampa.
Yeah, against Tampa,
Yeah,
and they beat Tampa. So, and we're bullish
God.
on Tampa this week.
Yeah.
Having said that,
Both those teams are
all
pretty
they have to
good.
do is beat Carolina by
A
a
one measly
touchdown.
touchdown. Yeah,
So no, 4 out of 5 people are putting their money on that side of the line, and you're one of them. So
and they don't
uh,
give it away.
you can have that. Give me those points. I'm not saying it's going to be an upset, but give me the points. It's going to be a game.
Okay, cool. Moving on. Detroit at Dallas. Detroit on the road -3, a 3-point favorite on the road. Detroit coming off a bye. I don't know how they're 3-1 right now. They have not been that fantastic, but they've escaped the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season now. 3-1. And I think now is the time where they've had a break, and I think they find a way to keep getting it together and go on a run here. I like Detroit in this game.
Yeah, so do I. Apply home field advantage. Throw the 3.5. Geez, that's the same as being 11-point home favorites in this matchup,
Mhm.
and that's just too many. So it's
Yeah,
strong. 3.5. And you're saying they're 3-1 and they haven't even looked good. That's how good they are when they
right.
don't even look good and they're
Yeah.
still beating everyone. So
Kind of how I
yeah,
feel about the
I think
Texans
that
too.
their presence is going to be felt, and I think Goff's going to have a real good game too.
Awesome. Cincinnati at the New York Giants. This is a Sunday night football contest. It is a 3.5-point favorite for the Bengals on the road against the Giants. Originally, I was on the Giants, but I am going with the Bengals on the road here. I just think they keep finding a way. I think they're getting better and better. And even though the Giants have looked good the last couple weeks, I like Cincy to cover those points.
Yeah, so do I. Here's the thing: we have so many games that are like 3.5-point road dogs or road favorites that we like.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many at 3.5 that one of them is gonna get clipped, and
Yeah,
so
for sure.
um,
As
and
long as they
maybe
don't
two,
all
like
lose by
clipped
3.
with the points. But so my thing is, any of these 3.5-point lines that we all like, you should do a parlay that's got each of those on the money line, and just see what happens if you could string a few in a row on the money line that are actually 3.5-point favorites that we like. I mean, that's a safe, aggressive bet if there's any such thing.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I probably won't do it myself. I never take my own good advice because then it hurts too much when I'm wrong.
Plus, parlays always screw you somehow in the end. You're better off putting even money.
Yeah, absolutely. Today, a parlay is a dart throw in a
Yeah.
Red River shootout. You got, Texas and Oklahoma. Oklahoma the 18, Texas the 1, but it's a 17-point line. That is so many points.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's taken those points, so I would actually lay the points. However, I would do the $10 dart throw or $100 dart throw at plus 550 on the money line with the over, because if they win, if they're not going to silence Texas that much, it's not like their
Right.
defense
Yeah,
is
they're
great.
gonna have to score
So
points.
if they win, it's going over. So that's like 10-1.
Yeah,
And
just on 2
so
picks. Yeah.
a same game two gamer. Let's go ahead and take Oklahoma on the money line with the over. Yeah, for any one you put on it, take 10 of theirs. It's not going to happen, but it's great insurance, or at least there's a chance to win something if you laying the 17 isn't going to work.
Right.
I expect that Texas is going to take care of business by more than 3 touchdowns, maybe 4 or 5. But if it's a close game and they got the commercials all doled out and people paid their money and it's going to be a close one, then why not have a shot at big money? It makes for some fun entertainment in your weekend, especially if it's very, very minimal outlay. 10-1, that's a dart throw I'll take any day.
I haven't been following college today. Is Arch Manning still playing, or is it back to Urs yet? Or
No, I'm sure he's still in. You're not going to
Coming out at
start a
this point.
Manning in
Yeah,
college and then take him out because
right.
the other guy came out when you
Yeah,
hadn't lost and you're the number one team. None of that's Arch Manning's
right.
team.
It's just funny though because Ewers was supposed to be a top 10 pick most likely,
Yeah.
and here he is going to be sitting on the bench in the senior
Well,
year.
this was an NFL thing, right? How many more games we got?
One, and we're on Monday Night Football. The Buffalo Bills, my neck of the woods, against the New York Jets, MetLife Stadium, Monday Night Football. The Bills are plus, or actually -2.5. The Bills are a favorite on the road against the Jets. The Jets fire Soleil, their head coach, and statistically, once a team fires their coach, it doesn't matter necessarily which sport, that team typically wins the next game they play.
Yeah.
And that's why I love the Jets. And I'm a Bills guy, I got the season tickets. I'm a Buffalo Bills diehard Josh Allen guy, but I think the Jets, I think they can run the ball against the Bills as long as they do that and play some defense. Josh Allen's been bad. Last week he was terrible, and that's a product of not having weapons. Shakir does come back this week, so that's good for the Bills. But I like the
Do
Jets.
you think he'll get double-digit targets?
Shakir, maybe he
Yeah.
definitely could. I mean, I would expect.
I think he will because, like you said, he doesn't have any other weapons, and so you bring the fastest guy back on the team.
Yeah.
He's going to have to start to assume more of an everyday first look.
Right.
I mean,
He
every
has
play
to
he
try to
should be
become
that
a number
first
one.
option,
This is a number one guy that's like pretty much a slot receiver. Like that's his like mold. But
which
I
is
mean,
perfect for Josh Allen. He could actually play action with that. He could,
yeah,
set himself up a little better.
yeah, they need to run the ball
Anyway,
better.
yeah, I also go with New York, not because I think they're a better team. I think that on paper and in practice that the Buffalo is still a better team, but not on Monday night. On Monday night, I like the Jets, and the only thing that scares me about the Jets is the fact that I believe they're making a big play to get Devontae Adams, so we might need more public outcry with a bad outcome for the Jets. So they may
Right,
get
right, yeah.
absolutely rolled. It could be embarrassing, but at the same time, Wayne Quebec. You guys remember Arnold Schwarzenegger when he visited Monday Night Football? The Jets just have this certain mojo. In fact, even last year,
Je
the
ne
first
sais
week of
quoi.
the season against the Bills, they
Mhm.
won.
Yeah.
Josh Allen had to throw 3 turnovers in a row just to
Mhm.
let them win. It was disgusting for the people that bet, like me, the Jets before that game because it was on 9/11 and it was going to be Aaron Rodgers' big coming out party. And he
Mhm.
gets crippled on the first drive.
Yeah.
It's like, how do they make that up? How can this Jets team come back and win? Nobody thought they could, but ultimately Josh Allen kind of was the MVP for the team that day. But they
Yeah.
do have history, and the Jets are kind of one of those Monday night teams. So I'm going to go with
Mhm.
them
Yeah,
with the
Jets are
return
sexy
of
on
the Wayne Quebec karma.
Quebec.
Yeah, they say Quebec, but
Yeah.
the way Arnold said it was Wayne
Yeah.
Quebec.
Yeah. It's like Alex Trebek or something. That guy's out of his
This is
mind.
such a football guy. Yeah.
All right, we got about 3 minutes left. Any final thoughts, John, for our viewers?
Gosh, it'd be good to know I had one to begin with, but
Yeah.
no, that's pretty much it. Sorry if we tangented a little bit on college, but you know what? If we can get this thing loaded up, it'll be before kickoff.
I want to talk more about Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just kidding. All right,
Yeah,
guys,
but
we'll let you go. Well, enjoy the games, John. Tomorrow, you and I will be texting. I'm sure you're gonna want to come up with an update or an upgrade downgrade video
yeah,
tomorrow.
look for quick upgrade
A half
downgrade.
hour before the games. So yeah, we'll get that out for you guys. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss the videos that come out right before games. John always has a great take. He's got baseball picks that come out about an hour before certain games, especially with the playoffs killing it right now. So yeah, we love the support and hope this information helps you. And obviously our picks are fairly good usually. So history will prove that and has proven it. So thanks a lot. And thank you, John, for being here. Appreciate you.
Anytime. Talk to you later. Ciao.
Bye.